doing? Welcome back to this relaxing World of Warcraft theme video. Today I wanted to show you more of the content that I like in World of Warcraft. I'm a retail player. Besides raiding and PvP, you can do Mythic Plus keys. I know not all of you are playing WoW, and not all of you are playing retail WoW, so this is going to probably not say a lot to you, but in case this is the radar you I talk about when I talk about my experience, well, like or not like the dungeons. So that really depends on, if you're higher than me or lower than me, how you might feel about them or your perception. While I'm going to talk about these dungeons, I will insert footage I recorded in these dungeons to show you what I mean. It's going to be a rambly video. I'm not sure how long or short it will be. I didn't kind of prepare a list. Or points I want to mention. I'll just wing it. This is just a pure spontaneous ramble video. So grab a cup of tea or just chill a little bit with me. We're going to start with my least favorite, or should I start with my favorite? Maybe let's start with the favorite. It's usually the other way around, right? My favorite, and I think a lot of people's favorite, is Algafar Academy. Long ago, the great Algafar Academy was a place of higher learning for all dragons. Though it fell dormant with the rest of the Isles, it has reopened and is back under the guidance of head teacher Doagosa. In a series of exciting new changes, the Academy is currently seeking new students from all walks of life, not just dragons, as well as volunteers to help get it back to the bustling halls of education it once was. Those who walk the Academy grounds are sure to learn something new. The dungeon has such a cool layout, in my opinion. I personally find it unique. I love the trash packs, they feel fun and unique to play. I really like the bosses as well. I don't know, especially I think the Firebird is my favorite, most enjoyable boss I personally like to play. It's just so much fun. I mean, it's not even just cooldown management, people need to use their defensives and the rest is just dodge, but I just enjoy bosses where I need to dodge a lot. It's a fun one. But what I just really love about Academy is also the visuals. It is a dungeon that doesn't make you feel closed in, which there will be some that I would say they make me feel kind of claustrophobic. It just has overall kind of a good vibe to it, you know what I mean? There isn't really much I can say. I feel like there are a lot of mechanics that are very satisfying to stop and kick. And yeah, it's a cool dungeon, I like it. It's also interestingly a dungeon that I feel like it depleted a lot. I think the worst deplete I had was in the Sanguine week. I'm not sure if it was a 17 or I don't know. But basically the boss and then we pulled 2 creeps on the boss. We had a lot of time, so we were like, no, let's just kill them, but the tank pulled him to the boss. They died, the boss was around 50%, it was tyrannical, and he stood in the sanguine and healed up to 100%. That was very annoying, we didn't time because of that. Things like that can always happen, let's call it unlucky. Let's get to my number 2, which is definitely the Azure Vault. Long ago, Maligos created the Azure Vault as a place for Sindragosa to catalog and store any curious magical artifacts he found. Locked away and deserted millennia ago, the vault has since fallen into despair, leaving it vulnerable to attacks from without and within. It feels nice to play it. There's a lot of things I can solo kick, like the icy bindings, you don't want them to go off. There is just, I feel like there's so much control, or like so much I can contribute as a shaman. With the stops and the short kick cooldown and everything, and I love it. I love the bosses, they are unique and fun to play, and I like the trash bags, and the visuals of the dungeons are just a 10 out of 10, like the crystals and flowers and all the purple kind of color palette overall. All the purple color palette, is that English? The entire color palette. Just really aesthetically pleasing. It is a dungeon where you can play a little bit with the route. Not much, but it's one of the dungeons where I do feel like a lot of tanks do choose different routes, which makes it every time a little bit more fun. I don't know, I think this dungeon and academy are just dungeons I can go again and again and again, and I don't even mind them. And I feel that is, and I think that is something a lot of people feel. Like, I'm not alone with that opinion, I know for sure. The next dungeon on my list, really fun to play and aesthetically pleasing, is Breckenhide Hollow. Brekkie. It is, I don't know, also one of these dungeons when you're doing good. It's so much fun. The bosses are like, partly they're fun, but a part of them is just like, I'm not the biggest fan of the design. Oh, we're swimming now. Okay, let's go. The visuals are definitely fun, and it's one of these dungeons where I feel like a lot of people ninja pull. So you always have more percentage than you need. Not always, but very often. Breckenhide Hollow is the largest knoll settlement in the Dragon Isles and home to unspeakable danger. Decay seeps from the hollow, spreading among the knoll tribes of the Azure Span and threatening to rot away all life. In the heart of the Hollow Isle, the leader of the Breckenhide, and the knowledge she gleefully shares with her withered kin. I do remember, like, the first boss used to be a pain, I think in season 1 or 2. When I didn't play dwarf and I couldn't dwarf the thingy away, but I think they in general reduced the damage, I'm not sure. The next 2 bosses are kind of, I just damage, there's not really anything to heal, you just chill. It's a very interesting dungeon. But the last boss, the totem boss, can be a little bit annoying. Because one day I did with friends on 18 key in Brekkie, and it went really well until the last boss. Then it didn't go well anymore. And then we tried it in 17, same thing. Last boss, and we bricked it. And then you're getting a little bit frustrated. But it is what it is. The next dungeon on my list will be Ruby Life Pools. It's like the left half that I really like, and then we come to the right half, which I don't like. Ruby Life Pools. Let's start with like this little short introduction to the lore. As the ancestral nesting grounds for the life lights, The ruby life pools is a sacred place. The red dragonflight grows charges to nurture all life. Protect these pools in the future of all dragonkin held within them. However, Razageth and their primalists have come to steal that future away and infuse their own powers into the sacred pools. They must be stopped for dragonkind to thrive. This dungeon has only 3 bosses: the ice boss, then the one with the elemental and like this boulder, like a frontal, kind of, not really. It's like targeting someone and casting a ball into that direction and one-shots you. And then like the last boss, which is a dude and a dragon. I think this dungeon is aesthetically a 10 out of 10. That is so beautiful. It might be with World and Academy, like the most beautiful dungeon in Dragonflight. It's so stunning. I am not a fan of playing it though. I find this dungeon frustrating. Usually even more frustrating on Fortified because these dragons and these elementals that are doing the AoE, I forgot the name, because there's a lot that needs to be stopped and I usually pack and play with random, so there's not the best coordination. 5 people sending all of their stabs at once. Or maybe not 5, but like say 2 or 3. And don't stop like the flame channel and stuff like that, or whatever it's called. I don't know all the names of the cast, I just know what they're doing. Not my favorite one when it comes to mechanics. Though the second boss is kind of fun to play. I like the baiting the charge and baiting the elemental. It's kind of a chill boss. On my level, like the key-sided, the highest I timed ruby life pools is both 116. So, stunning dungeon. Might do a little exploration there if you want, because it's definitely worth looking at it and take your time for it. The next dungeon, which I would still consider as enjoyable, which is surprising to me because I used to hate this dungeon until I paid attention to the environments and I stopped hating it. And that is Halls of Infusion. Deep beneath Tyrhold lies the Halls of Infusion. Its structure was built upon an ancient wellspring, the waters of which were channeled by Keeper Tyr to feed the life pools of the Red Flight. Now the Dragon Isles have reawakened, primalist forces have invaded these halls. Have they come to destroy the facility, or to reveal secrets that Tyr left behind? And that's like the entire thing that I love to, or like I learned to love about this dungeon. It's super long. It has not very fun boss mechanics in my opinion. I don't like the frog, I don't like the first boss. The third boss as well is a pain in the butt. I don't know how healers feel about it. Resto Shaman is currently not the most popular choice, which is reflecting in kind of like the ranking with my kind of mid-range raid IO. I'm like in the top 100, which is usually not the case. That just reflects this is not a meta spec. People don't really play Restoration Shaman a lot right now. I just really like it, so I just keep on doing it. And I find the third boss kind of scary. It is a very long dungeon, it's a lot of running, but I do actually enjoy the creeps. I think I would rate this dungeon higher if it would be aesthetically a little bit more open. You know, like first you run in this underwater, underground place, but then you might eventually open up or something. That would be so beautiful. That is what I always a little bit disliked about this dungeon. It's like this being caged in a dungeon kind of vibe. Still a very beautiful dungeon, full of the water details. So the next one is going to be Nelfaris. I am not sure Nelfaris or Knockwood. I will rate Nelfaris a tiny bit higher, because I'm not as annoyed to play it compared to Knockwood. Beneath the obsidian citadel lies Nelfaris, home of the Black Dragonflight's horde and the secrets behind the legendary forging. When the Jardin woke from their slumber, they chose Nelfaris as the point of entry for their attack. Surprised to find it deserted, they quickly laid claim to its secrets of themselves, as well as the rest of the obsidian citadel. Starting with the cool part about Nelfaris is the citadel vibe. Like, it does feel like Underworld Fortress. Like, there's something very charming about Nelfaris, but at the same time annoying. I can't really tell you what it is. I do like the bosses. I think the bosses have like very unique mechanics, and I do enjoy playing them if they played well. I think what makes me rate Nelfaris so low is just the darkness and this dungeon feeling. While I do think it's kind of pretty, it's also kind of, I don't know, I just want to leave it. I want to leave the dungeon. And I don't really enjoy the hunters. I did have tanks to skip them. Like this entire part after the second boss, when you go to the right, like the door opens. I had tanks who were like, we're not doing that, and we did go back. Those routes were more enjoyable, but yeah, just, I don't know, I'm not excited when I have to do it, but I'm not annoyed. But now we're coming to the two dungeons that annoy me when I have to do them. And that is number 1, Knockwood. After Clan Knockwood captured the ancient eagle spirit on Nahara, civil war spread across the Naharan plains like wildfire. To the other clans, Nahara is more than a mere spirit. She's their goddess. Primal summoned elementals, forces, and necromancers command the spirits of legendary centaur. Beset by enemies, the other Maruk clans rally. The Knockwood tyrant Alakar Khan watches from afar, billowing commands. Relentless enemy offenses will continue until his forces submit. The battlefield awaits. So this dungeon is beautiful because it is located in the Onaris Plains, which is like this part of the Dragon Isles. Such a stunning place. It's so beautiful, but you have to Dragonflight. I always need a taxi. I don't like it for some reason. I think dragon riding is fun, but I don't want to do it in a dungeon for some reason. I think the first boss is pretty boring. As a healer, you just have to do the harpoons, and I don't like it. And I think the only packs I really enjoy are the ones between the first and the third boss. No, that's not true. First and second boss. Like the ones at the waterfall, like all these elementalists. They're just so much fun to play. I really enjoy them. But everything before first boss and before third boss is just hell, especially the ones before the third boss with the birds. And generally, like how long it feels like it takes so much time fighting them. I don't like it. I can't really tell you why, but Knockwood has always been this one dungeon where I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it, and everyone's like, but why? It's so chill, it's so fun, it's such an easy dungeon, it's so nice, and it's the opposite of the dungeons I dislike, which are usually like kind of dungeons with tiny hallways and everything. Since this one is the opposite, it's very open. It's the open fields, the plains. My favorite boss would here be probably Terra and Maruk, the two centaurs. Yeah, I don't know, I just don't like that. I don't like that dungeon. This dungeon just gives me bad vibes. I can't even really properly explain it. It's just a big... Do I have to go there? Oh, I don't want to. And now we're coming to my least favorite dungeon. Can't wait, I'm so excited talking about it. Uldaman is an ancient Titan facility where long ago allies of the heroic Keeper Tur hid the discs of Norganon. After returning to the Dragon Isles, Queen Alexstrasza learned of another disc locked away within Uldaman. I had no idea. One that holds the memories of Tur himself. Believing this knowledge is needed to restore the power of the aspects, Alexstrasza has asked her mortal allies to brave the perils of Uldaman and recover Tur's memories to secure the future of dragonkind. Ruby Life Pools had 3 bosses, the other dungeons have 4, Uldaman has 5. This dungeon is literally a dungeon. It is underground, it is sandy. I just don't like it. I feel almost claustrophobic when I'm inside. My camera is so messed up sometimes. Things are being sometimes silhouettes from you when you're running or trying to hide. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like it. Half of the bosses are just boring, like the Lost Dwarves. I don't even know till today what in the world the mechanics are. All I know is stay away from the tank. There's like some cleave or something, and outside of that I don't know, but sometimes DPS are dying. Bromek, yes. Can be a chill boss, can be annoying, depends on the team. I do like the Sential Tolerandras, the third boss. He's scary. Emberon and Chronolord Deos. I never know the names of the bosses, to be honest. Now thinking about it, I'm like, I never read that name before. Interesting. But yeah, these 2 bosses are also boring. I generally don't enjoy fighting the pegs. Like, just everything about this dungeon is like, do we have to go in there? I'm getting a headache from it. I don't enjoy it. It is such a bad dungeon. I mean, maybe lore-wise it's interesting and cool and, you know, has like this adventure kind of feeling to it, but it's a long dungeon. It's like a corridor dungeon. The visuals are a no to me. The look is, that's the same. The play feeling is a no to me. Like, just no more corridor dungeons. Please. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this spontaneous ramble. Dragonflight is about to be over. I like Dragonflight. I don't know if you played it. Let me know what's your favorite and least favorite dungeon of this expansion is. I wish you a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Stay safe.